Well, I'm a bit biased, but I guess he was amazing. We've been together 15 years. He was a very loving husband, amazing dad, amazing. And he just had the best sense of humour ever. He really did. And he was very chilled, really chilled bloke.
Had you been looking forward to this event? Because this was a big corporate do, wasn't it? Jessie J performing. Was there a sense of excitement?
Well, it was an ongoing joke between me and Phil that I didn't actually know who Jessie J was. So he had to explain to me. But yeah, he was looking forward to it. He'd been with BlackBerry a month, and this was a reward for his good work in his first month with BlackBerry.
How did you find out that something had gone wrong, that he'd been hurt?
The first I heard was I had a call about 11 o'clock on the Wednesday morning, and all I knew was he was missing. I didn't know any more. It took about 2 hours for the information to come through to me, and I actually found out when my auntie Googled it and saw the pictures on the internet.
That's an amazing way to find out something like that, isn't it?
Yeah, fortunately I didn't see the pictures. I've seen them since, but yeah, it's been terrible.
What were the next few days like? Because straight away you had to head to London.
Yeah, I was in London on the Wednesday night, and I spent 5 days at his side. The best case scenario when I first arrived was he was going to be paralysed down his right side, and then every day the prognosis got worse and worse, and we were hit with more and more bad news until when I finally got the news that they were going to turn his ventilator off on the Saturday. It was actually quite a relief.
What's it been like since then? That's only April. We're only a couple of months further on.
Devastating. It's been absolutely, completely and utterly devastating. I've got 2 children. Our lives have been turned upside down, and we miss him so much, so much.
How have the children coped?
It's difficult because one's 5 and one's 8, and they see life very differently to what we do. My 5-year-old sees everything very black and white, and he seems to accept what's happened. My 8-year-old girl was a daddy's girl, and her heart is broken, but she can't talk about it at the moment.
Have you had much help from the Scorton community, from the school, that sort of thing?
Oh, we've had amazing help. It's been amazing. I just didn't know I had so many friends. It's been overwhelming.
We're speaking at a running shop in the middle of Lancaster. We're here because it's all part of a fundraising campaign that you've become involved with. Tell us about that.
The proceeds from this event are going to go to the James Horror House. Now, this is a hostel that I stayed at while I was down in London. It's attached to the Royal London Hospital, and it's run by the Mary Celeste Samaritan Society. The hostel was an absolute godsend to us. We were there for 5 days, and it was a little sanctuary for us to stay in when things were going so awfully wrong.
And of course, you were in a completely unfamiliar place in the worst possible circumstances.
Yes, it was, I've not been to London since I was a girl, to go there and watch my husband die was just horrific. But in a way, it's been good that it's so separate from the rest of my life.
You mentioned the event going on here at the shop, and that's to do with the Olympic torch, isn't it? If you come in here, you can have your photograph taken with the torch for a charge which goes to the charity.
Yes, that's right. There's a friend of the shop called Jack who's going to have the torch, and he's donated it to the shop for a week, and then I will be taking the photographs. So if you pay a £5 minimum donation, you can have your photograph taken with the torch.
As well as the fundraising for the hostel, you're also considering starting a campaign about glass bottles, aren't you? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I've yet to decide specifics, but I know that if the glass bottles weren't being served at this event, this wouldn't have happened, and I'd still have my husband with me. So I am looking to start a campaign somehow of banning glass bottles at certain events, because I just don't want this to ever happen again to anyone.
Some people might find it surprising that bottles were available, because you go to big events, be it sporting or concerts, whatever, pints and half pints are in plastic cups, aren't they?
That's the thing, and they were offering other drinks in plastic cups, but for some reason the bottles were still on sale. But this is something I really want to look into and pursue.
So you're looking at maybe finding a way of closing a loophole in the law or rules or whatever?
Yeah, what's the difference between one event and another? Why is one event has to have plastics, and why is another allowed glass bottles?
Does this sort of campaigning and the fundraising help you?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, this is what I have to do now. I have to make anything good come out of such an awful situation.
And as well as that sort of doing good, is it also a distraction, for want of a better word?
Yeah, completely. I've discovered that as long as I'm busy, I am okay. It's as soon as I stop and start to think that it gets on top of me. So I have to keep going for me and the kids.
How do you see the future now?
I'm not sure. I don't know. At the moment, it's very dark. I'm sure one day I'll be able to look back and I'll look at everything and realise that actually I have done okay. But at the moment, it's hard, very hard.
And it is very early days, isn't it? Has to be said.
Yeah, it is. It's 3 months on Sunday since he died. Yeah, it is very early.
Do you think Phil would be proud of you with your campaigning and your fundraising?
Yeah, he would. I'm sure he wouldn't be surprised because he knows how stubborn I am and how strong I am. But no, I hope he realises the difference he's going to make.